You know, I actually started here right out of college. So
Did you?
In 1974. I was born and raised in Deer River.
Oh,
so
okay.
up by Grand Rapids.
Okay.
So I'm a northern Minnesota, you know, I should say farm boy, but I was born and raised in the country.
Sure.
Went to junior college, then I went down to the University of Minnesota, so I got a good degree I got a Bachelor of Science degree in wildlife from the U. I was fortunate enough, being born and raised in the country out there, and actually before, almost, I can remember when we got our first black and white TV, I was 7 years old. It's hard to say that, you think like you're really ancient, but when you lived out in the country,
Sure.
So,
You're remote.
I had to entertain myself outside. So when I was in high school, when I was probably a junior, I actually went to career council and said, hey, what can I do? And there was actually foresters was the most dominant job, But then they also said, well, we're going to start getting wildlife jobs too. And I said, well, that sounds interesting. Yeah, well, I've been fortunate here too to be in Brainerd, and I didn't know it at that time, but when I was hired here, this was also an office for a region and an office for the area. If you remember that, that's usually why this building is so big. Is that for an awful lot of years, this was also a regional hub and an actual field office area type office. So when I started, I worked for the area as an actual laborer. And then I went up to what's called a wildlife specialist, working on our deer habitat program. And then I went over to being a forest wildlife coordinator for the region. And then I worked in St. Paul for 4 years on cost accounting and federal aid. And it helped me a lot when I came back here. But then after that was done, then I was acting regional wildlife manager for a while after Henry Wolf retired. And then in 1996 or 7, I think it was, this job opened up for the area, what's called supervisor / manager. And I wanted to come back here because this is where, I had a fun career when I was doing those other things because you were in the field all the time. This job, like any business, you move up, and I still have the capability of getting out quite a bit. But it's actually my function to make sure the projects are in, the budgets are there, it's personnel hiring issues, it's all that other kind of stuff that kind of basically gets you growing down. It's actually my job to keep the funds, the projects, and all the paperwork, off the guys that I've got for the field, so they're out having fun. Within the DNR, we're basically what I would call a 3-level organization. Okay, we have a field office, field level, and that's what I am. I'm the area wildlife manager. I have 2 staff here, and I have 2 staff in Aitkin. Okay. And then we have a region, and there's only 4 regions in the state, and that's kind of mid-level in a business. And then you have St. Paul. That's policies, laws, projects, whatever. See in there. So if it has to pertain to basically wildlife, it goes through this office and the staff. That's a map of a work area. Okay. So basically, we go from Motley over here in Lower Cass to Floodwood. Floodwood's over there. And so this is
if you cut a diagonal.
Yeah, if you took the diagonal. So this is
Motley
Aitkin County stuff, Crow Wing, and this was Lower Cass.
Yeah.
And if you look on this map, everything that's green is state public land. Everything that's basically yellow is county land, which we work with the counties a lot on their stuff. And then we have all these wildlife areas that are on the orange side. So you take a look at them. We got the core Brainerd Lakes area right there. But you take a look at what we've got for public land in this area.